Welcome to Projects for All. My name's Mike, and today we got DeWALT's little 7485 8¼ little miniature saw back here because we have TSO's upgraded rip fence to check out. This little saw has its own video. We just did it. You can go back and check it out. We go into serious detail. This is a great little saw. Seriously good quality. Everything about this saw I love. We're gonna see if TSO can make it a little bit better. All right, so here's your model numbers. We have the upgraded rip fence, and we have the sacrificial rip fence that'll attach to this. Shrade, I still love this knife, by the way. I've had to sharpen it a couple times. I guess I already opened this. This has been sitting here for a little while, waiting for me to review the saw, and I must have already had a look. What we really have here is just a piece of extruded aluminum with some channels cut into it so we can attach stuff to it. You got 3 channels. Very similar to the factory fence. At least it's got the cuts in it like the last one we did, so we can put our push stick on it. Logo. Let's have a look at our sacrificial fence. Got us a little pack here. Probably some instructions on a QR code. They kept it nice and simple, a little bit of hardware. There's our hardware kit for our sacrificial fence. If I didn't say this already, these are sold separately. You can get the fence without this if you don't want it, but nicely done, and you don't have to make it yourself if that's not your thing. Plus you get the hardware, so QR code for assembling our rip fence. Let's see what we got here. We got T-Mobile being slow. Choose your saw model. 7485 compact, and there you go. Got a nice owner's manual or assembly manual. This is gonna go super fast and easy. It goes together just like the rip fence we did on the DeWALT 10-inch. We have that video too if you want to check it out, because the DeWALT 10-inch is a beast of a saw, and with this fence on it, honestly, it just made it so much better. I told TSO when they come out with more models for this, I'd love to check it out, because honestly, I think it's worth it. There's our auxiliary fence. Save the screws. We'll flip our fence around. You got 4 8mm screws holding the fence and the end caps together. And just like that, we should have an end cap that comes off. There we go. 1 end cap. 2 end caps. Just plastic on extruded aluminum. It's our push stick. We'll take these brackets off and flop them over to the new one. We'll just take the brackets off and we're gonna stick them right on the new fence. That's crazy, I never would have guessed this, but this is plastic. There's our factory fence, still looking pretty much like brand new. Crazy how simple these things are. Just a piece of aluminum. All this is gonna go right back the way it was. Don't tighten these all the way, because you're gonna have to adjust height once you get this together. And we'll adjust it so it's almost touching the top of the table, but not quite. And all we got left to do, slap our aux fence on here, tighten down our screws. Upgrading this fence is probably the easiest thing I've ever had to do on this channel. Obviously, this takes just a few seconds to do. All right, maybe 10 minutes. You can see I got it kind of crooked. We got a bigger gap on this side. Well, it's not touching the tabletop. So I'm just going to loosen these 4 screws on the back here. Now we can adjust the height of this. Now you can obviously adjust this however you'd like, but I'm just going to stick a piece of cardboard under there and press down hard and tighten it down. And that should be good enough. 4 screws on the back. Pull the cardboard out of there. And now we got a nice even gap there. It looks like the factory installed it. Beautiful. You'll notice I didn't use any of the included hardware. So you got some You got 4 oversized screws in case you strip out the 4 on the back of this. Out of the plastic, they give you an option here to save yourself so you're not hosed, which is nice. These spacers, it took me a minute to figure out because it's been a while since we did the other video. It's for attaching these. Just some clear-cut stock guides. I have these still from the old video. And I still have the mini Hedgehogs, and that's what we're going to use with this. So we didn't need any of this stuff, and I'll bet you those spacers are still in the box from the last time I used them. So if I need them, I'll grab them. Otherwise, we are good to go. We're going to stick our sacrificial fence on. You got the slides here. These are threaded and stainless steel 5mm Allens. They look like stainless at least. The nice thing about this is once these are on here, you don't have to take them off. You just loosen them up to get the fence on and off. Thread on there, damn it. We got our hardware installed on this side. Our screws all flush set in there. Because these are offset and they're not one on top of each other, they're going to be a lot easier to feed into this. Far two are already in the slots. All I'm going to do is give that a jiggle and it's just going to go right in there. It's super easy. And that one slides right in there. And we'll tighten them down and sacrificial fence is on. That's it. Obviously we can't use that anymore. There we go. Sacrificial fence is on. Taking it off, just as easy. We'll just loosen those screws. Give it a jiggle, comes right off of there. I do really like these mini Hedgehogs. They're super simple and easy to use. And they literally just slide on there, give them a quick tightening down. You can adjust them. These are wonderful. I don't know why. Honestly, I forget I have them and I don't use them as much as I ought to because they're super easy to position. And then we got our Jessam clear-cut stock guides. There's 2 O-rings on this and it only spins in one direction. So you can feed through it, but it doesn't want to go back. I guess I can make it slip if I want to, but I have to push on it pretty good. These are seriously nice quality. They're metal, all metal. There's your model number. They are made in Canada. Direction of feed. This one says in feed. That one says out feed. Crazy easy to install. Just slides on like that. You tighten them down. I got this one super loose for some reason. There you go. What's even cooler is they're angled towards the fence. So as they feed, they don't let things come back and they're pushing it towards the fence, which is very nice. Just for giggles, let's find out how straight the actual fence itself is. We know the saw is straight because we just calibrated this in the last video and I didn't move the mounting points for the fence, so we should be good. Bear in mind that these gauges are not as accurate on these little saws because once I'm back here, I'm on the throat plate here. So I could move this up to this back position here, but then it gets kind of squirrely and I feel like it's less accurate. All right, there's 0 from one end to the other. We are, I'd say about 2 thou. We're like 2 thou from one end to the other. Back to absolute 0 almost. 2 thou from one side to the other. I can absolutely live with that. Well, I feel like if I don't make a couple cuts, I didn't really review it. So I don't think the cuts are even necessary. I mean, this is about as solid as you can get this fence on here. We'll run a little 1/2-inch plywood and maybe a board or 2, and let's see how it does. We'll rip this one by chunk of poplar real fast. All I'm going to do is loosen the inside one so I can pivot this, and I'll just press down, tighten those. There we go. We got our height set. We're going to run one more with the mini Hedgehogs. We got a chunk of poplar. These are, for the price, hard to beat. Well, you guys tell me what you think, but I'm impressed. I think that this is going to help this little saw a lot because feeding larger stock through this small table saw could be somewhat of a challenge. And having some more stability, I think, is going to be a real benefit to it. I didn't include pricing in this video because prices have been changing a lot lately and the videos are getting out of date pretty fast. So you go down in the description, I have links for TSO's website. You can go down there and look at yourself, but it isn't very expensive. And I think it benefits a lot, especially with this small saw. I don't have a ton of experience with this one because we just reviewed it, but the 8 1/4 skill saw is very similar in size, and I have a lot of experience with that one. And I wish I'd had this the whole time I've been using that. Thanks again to Pamison9191 for finding my mistake and saving me from myself. I appreciate you guys watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video.